So this review, hi everybody, Jorge speaking. This review is on Pablo Escobar, Angel or Demon. It's a documentary on that I found on Netflix about Pablo Escobar, the drug pin, the kingpin of Colombia in the 90s and late 80s. Uh, it was a very informative. I contrast it with with Narcos because they're both based around this man, and I thought, what can I learn from this documentary that I didn't learn from the Netflix series? And hold on, yeah, there. What can I learn from this man? And I he because he's quite a fascinating figure. He one of the great things about this one of the great things about this man was that he was very well loved. So the angel part of him. So the documentary tries to find out, or tries to show you two sides of him, two sides to the coin. They try to show you the good side, and they try to show you the bad side, what he did that was good and what he did that was bad. And I thought that for the good part, he was very beloved by some people in Colombia. A lot of the politicians that were interviewed in the series, in the documentary, did not like him. They did not approve of him. But that kind of makes sense because uh, as I saw in the documentary, in the Netflix show in Narcos, he wasn't liked by the political establishment. He was hated. Disliked. He didn't. They kicked him out eventually. So it made sense that it was kind of streamlined, And then they interviewed this guy called Popeye, which means Popeye, and he's we find out at the end of the documentary that he was actually in jail for 30 years because of the drug trafficking and all the people that he probably killed. And he says that he regrets it in the end. He says that he regrets uh, being involved in drug trafficking. And one of the great quotes that I found by Gabriel Garcia Marquez is that he said the idea of easy money, coming across easy money, that why should I work for 8 hours when I could just easily get involved in this, and I can easily make more than that, is a very poisonous attitude and mentality to have, because you become trapped in this vacuum of just an easy lifestyle and having things easy and not having to work hard for what you want. So I kind of see where Popeye was coming from on this. And I mean, I honestly, I don't know, because I didn't live during that time. So I was barely born when Pablo Escobar was already in the end of his life. I think he died in 92 or 93. December something of 1992 or 1993. So they showed like the good side. Back to the good side. He was they interviewed this woman that lived in the neighborhood that he created in Medellin, Colombia. And she said that next to her mother, he was the man that she most admired in life. And I was like, wow, that's pretty deep. And at the same time, the bad side of him, they interviewed all the politicians, and the politicians disliked him. And the reason why I brought up Popeye is because Popeye kind of seemed to meander between both sides, between good and bad, because he kind of explained, well, what happened. This happened, they did this is how they did this is how they did that. The protocols, all of that, he explained. And then he kind of said, and then at the end, they asked for his opinion, and he said that he took it, that he regretted it. He regretted doing all that. And then, part of me thinks it's like, because he got caught, that's why he regretted it. Maybe he turned himself in, because he's still alive, and he came out of this with life, because back in those days, everybody was getting shot left and right. And Pablo Escobar was no exception. They probably could have taken him in, but they didn't want to uh, take him in. They wanted to kill him. So that's what I thought about that's kind of what I thought. Like, why would they kill him? I don't know. It's because it was more than just taking him in and bringing him to justice. They had their and putting him under the law. They had their own sense of justice that they wanted to fulfill, and that's why they killed him because he was trapped. He had one person in there with him supposedly. In the series he had Limon with him. So I mean, ultimately he's trapped by himself, and they still shot him and killed him. So I thought that was interesting. Um, Other things, yeah, and that's what I think of Angel or Demon. I thought, they interviewed Cesar Gaviria, an ex-president of Colombia, and he was pretty cool. He had a calm demeanor, and he kind of analyzed things in a very cold manner, frío, mente fría. So it was all of it was dictated in Spanish with English subtitles. So I was able to appreciate that because I understood what they were saying. Um, and when Popeye was speaking, when the senators were speaking, when Gaviria was speaking, I understood what they were saying. So that was interesting. So yeah, that's my review of this documentary. Please watch it. It's very entertaining. Please like and subscribe. Leave a comment.